When is the real estate market going to crash? Dude, it's a fantastic question, and I get hit up all the time. People want to know the answer to this question. But today I'm going to be giving it to you a little bit different because it's going to surprise you that when the market crashes has a lot to do with how you and I feel about the market. Feelings. How on earth could people's perceptions and feelings in the marketplace actually dictate when the market's going to crash? Here, check this out. You see this pile of cash? It's for a different video that I'm getting set up to record with my kids to upset a lot of people on the planet about how I train them about money. But this pile of cash, it evaporates in a second when the market crashes. So it's here today, it's something you can spend, it's real, it's tangible, and then something shifts in the market and it's gone. What is that? So back in 2008, October, for those of you that remember it, that market from one moment to the next, I was getting ready to close on like my, I don't know how many umpteenth hundredth property. I was getting ready to close, and this is how I knew that something really screwy was going down. I had talked to the lender, we were getting ready to put 20% down, and I had like a 5%, 6% interest rate, something like that. And all of a sudden, that very next day, the bank calls me up and says, the interest rate is now 17%. The bank had shifted the interest rate by 11%. Why had they done that? Because they were basically trying to tell me, we're not going to fund this deal, and we know there's no way that you're actually going to do this deal with 17% interest rate. The very next week, the bank went out of business, they evaporated, they no longer existed, and everything changed in our world as we knew it. Except that for me, what everyone considered the worst of times, stock market crash, thrown themselves out of windows, was for me, the best of times. So by the way, as I explain this to you, I want you to understand that when the market crashes, is it a bad thing? Well, it depends which side of the fence you're on, and it depends on what you understand about the market. So as a real estate investor, when everyone is running this way, then we should be running what way? This way. When everyone's scared, we get really excited. When everyone's really excited, what do? We don't get scared, we start running the opposite direction. We're counter-cyclical. We go in the different direction than people are, and that's because feelings dictate a lot in this market. Let me show you something here. When you take a look at the way the market moves, real estate does go up over time, but we know that it doesn't look like that. What it does is it actually moves in waves. And this part we call a what? Dude, you're so smart. That's a bubble, right? And what's this? Yep, that's the trough. So anything over this line is going to have to course correct and come down. So when the market tanked back in 2008, why was I so excited? Because I went on with my team to go and purchase 2,000 homes in Phoenix and Vegas, and I was buying up those homes for $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 that were previously selling for $250,000 to $300,000. They had overbuilt in that market. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'll answer at the end of this video when the market's going to crash. But I want you to know that when it happens, I'm going to be freaking jumping up and down. I'm going to be excited because there's a massive problem. And do you know what real estate investors really are? We're problem solvers. We're the cleanup crew. And we're going to make a lot of money because no one else is going to clean it up. Everyone's too busy, scared. They're like ostriches, heads in the sand, shaking the big meaty part out for the tiger to come in and jump on you, right? Meanwhile, we're the tiger. We're out there saying, dude, look at all this lettuce, look at all this opportunity, and the government can't clean it up. No one else can clean it up. It's an opportunity just for you and I to be able to do that. So let me kind of show you what that means. How are people feeling at this point in the market? There's optimism. Why? Because the market has just finished coming back. Optimism turns into what? Optimism turns into excitement. Now, when people get excited, then there's the thrill. When there's the thrill, then we hit this climax. We're going to call that euphoria. Be very afraid when the feelings of everyone around you are real estate's the best thing. When your skeptical friend says, I'm jumping in and doing real estate, guess what we do? We are running in the absolute opposite direction because what happens after euphoria? Well, the market shifts. And the first thing that happens is there is anxiety. Now, stock market just recently did this and people are feeling anxiety. They don't even know it. But what comes next after anxiety is denial. And from denial, we move right here into fear, then we move into desperation, and then we move into hopelessness. Now, if you understand the market, if you read the press clippings, and if you talk with people, you'll start getting a really good feeling for where we are in this market. But guess what happens after this? There's a recapitulation. Something really beautiful happens that I love. The market starts turning around and we move into hope. Now, when people are hopeful, they're still scared and they're still running from the opportunity. At this point, they're feeling relief because the market cap got caught up with the rebuild value. That's what this means. Anytime, if a home costs $200,000 to build, and up here they're selling it for $300,000, they're $100,000 above the build price. That's a bubble. Anything above the build value is going to have to crumble. And anytime you can buy something beneath what it costs to build, here's how you know it. No one is building, no one's developing, and all the stuff that had been built is getting eaten up by the who? The investors. 2008, 2009, 2010. You know who my biggest competitor was? Warren Buffett, Blackstone. In the year that I bought 1,000 homes, he bought 40,000 homes. I only wish that I was bigger, which is why. I will tell you when the market crashes at the end of this video. You will be ready for it. And you and I, we're going to go and we're going to be the next cleanup crew. Because even though in the last 5 years I made my investors over $70 million, it's nothing compared to what's going to be happening because this cycle is predictable. It never jumps here and jumps backwards and then goes here and goes backwards. There's nothing finicky about real estate. It is slow moving and always in this direction. It's called the K-wave cycle. You can look at the Kondratiev cycle. It was a Lithuanian that actually came up with this economic model that's been tracked for the last 3,000 years. Friends, we're talking about science right now. But oddly enough, it tracks the emotions that will lead all the way back up to optimism and excitement. Now I want to just share something with you. This is a little bonus, okay? Before I help you understand when this is going to happen again next, I want to ask you this question. When should you be buying like crazy in the cycle? Right here. This point right here, this is where you're going to make your most massive gains. When should you be selling? Some of you are like, Kris, you should sell at the peak. No one knows when the peak is. You'll only ever know what it is in hindsight. Do you know when I'm selling? I'm selling right here. Just when the going is getting good. Now, why can I afford to do that? Because when was I buying? All the way down here. Now, here's the cool thing. The entire market doesn't move this simple. We've got sub-markets moving. United States, 350 sub-markets that make up this country. So when am I buying real estate? I'm always buying real estate. And if you're a subscriber, you know that I have a system. You know that you can click the link below, talk to my team, and we're going to break it down for you. That system essentially means that we're buying homes underneath the median, and we don't care what's happening in the market, other than when the market tanks, we get uber excited because we're going to compress our 5 and 7 year gains into a much shorter time frame. So do we get excited about it? Yes. Here's what it means for you. Whatever age you are right now, go ahead and look at your watch. It'll tell you how old you are. And think, in the next few years when this happens, I have one of the biggest wealth creation moments of my entire life ahead of me. You can make in a handful of years what people cannot make in an entire lifetime if you understand the power of what I'm sharing with you right now. So let's answer this question. When's it going down? When's it going to happen? When is the market going to lose its stuff? It's going to hit the fan and everything's going to shift and change in the marketplace. Let me tell you right now, where we're at in this market is we are at optimism, we're at excitement, and we're moving in the zone right here. I can't give you the month, the date, I can't even give you the year, but what I can tell you is I'm buying real estate crazy right now because I understand where we're at in the market, and I'm in the markets that are in this phase right here. So we're out there, we're crushing it, we're making it happen, and just wait. In a handful of years here, your moment, your biggest moment's gonna come. What can you do right now to be ready for it? Number one, you gotta pay yourself first. You gotta start leveraging that job like a beast. Stop living paycheck to paycheck. At this point, pay yourself first means that when you go to your job, if you're going to trade all your hours for that money, you better not be putting it all towards your bills. You better be stockpiling some of that money. What's the next things that you should do? You should be buying profitable real estate. I look at real estate that has 20% ROI. And if you buy it underneath the market, and in fact, if you click the link and talk to my team, we're going to reveal the entire plan to you of how you can buy real estate in any market cycle and freaking get these numbers to hold true and crush it. And then the third thing that you can do is get excited. Best way to do that is to experience a full immersion event with me. Every quarter, I put on a 3-day financial freedom workshop. That's a 3-day opportunity for you to get with me and for me to actually train you on all the systems and all the mindsets that you need to go out there and freaking crush it, because the market is going to crash again. And while everyone thinks it's a bad thing, I mean, look at their emotions: anxiety, denial, fear, desperation. That's what happens when you pay attention and pay homage to society's financial game plan. That's what it looks like when you're 401k'ing, IRAing, house payer offering, and doing these other weird things that are never going to get you where you're going to be. Wake up. Now's the time for you to realize that there's only one person in charge of your financial destiny, and that person isn't me. It's not your boss. That person is you. It's time to make it happen. Click the link in the description below. Make sure that you get a chance to talk to my team. Ask for a custom game plan for making your next $1 million. And in the meantime, subscribe, because tomorrow I got another hot and juicy coming your way.